conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone, good morning. Any doubts from previous topics? So we are into conversions and interfaces. In our last session, we have discussed why we use conversions and interface and which one is going to perform by ABAP consultant. And in conversion and interface, ABAPer need a flat file. So flat file is what? Flat file is a document which contains information which is we need to upload to SAP database. So here a flat file which we are using to upload bank data, and this flat file which was given by the conversion team or business users or functional consultant to ABAP to upload data to SAP database using a program. So what flat file contains? Flat file contains information about data which they need to upload to SAP database. So which data they are going to send, how we know? We are going to understand this from the business. So if I go here, F501 is a tree code to create bank. So here we have to enter bank country and bank key. So these two are mandatory to upload bank data to SAP. So first one is bank country and next one is bank key. And then enter. So next you need to provide bank name, Axis Bank, and then region and street. So bank name, region, street. Name, region and street. So India, bank key, Axis Private Limited or Axis Bank. Region, TS, Street, Hyderabad. This is ICICI and this one ICICI Bank. This is HDFC and HDFC Bank, and then SBI. What was this? Andhra. So these are our bank keys and these are our bank names which we use to upload data to SAP database. So now flat file data, who will provide for us? Flat file data which is going to provide by functional or conversion team. ABAPer, he will receive data in a file. So that file is flat file. Based on the availability of the file, we can say application server file or presentation server file. So whatever it is, finally ABAPer he will receive the file which contains information which we need to upload to SAP database. And as well as once a functional consultant or a conversion team send this information, you have to ask your functional guy to show me how do we upload this data to SAP database using a T code from SAP screen. Then they will explain you we need to execute FI01 transaction, which is used to bank creation, and we need to enter country and then key. So once you enter country information and key information, then it will take you to the another screen, where in the another screen you have to enter bank name and region and street. So once you enter this bank information, finally you can go and click on save, so that what will happen, data will be stored in table BNKA. So this information who will provide? Your functional team. They will provide you how we can create manually and where we can see a data which created after bank. So this is the table where we can check the bank information. So now you receive file and you know how this file data to be uploaded manually, and you know where to go and check the bank data. So once you know all this information, then technically you have to prepare to upload this data to SAP database table. So what you have to do, you need to create a program using SE38. So create a program, and inside this program there are majorly 4 steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3 and step 4. So what we do in step 1? So step 1, first we need to get flat file data to our internal table, which is at application layer level. First, whatever data user is holding in a file, that data we used to get into internal table. So once you have data into internal table, then you have to call BAPI. So first you need to identify a BAPI. There are so many interface techniques we have: direct input, batch input, BDC, and then LSMW, BAPI, ALA ducts. And out of this, you need to select which technique is suitable for your requirement. And no one is going to tell you you have to use BAPI or BDC or any other. Sometimes what will happen based on previous experience, your functional consultant, whenever he was asking a requirement, he will tell you whether you need to use a BAPI or a BDC, so he can guide you. If sometimes what will happen, even functional also first time they were doing this, then they don't know, then they will ask you to select any one appropriate one which is no more issues in future and very futuristic approach. Then as a paper you have to pick the relevant method. So here, out of all, BAPI is SAP suggested one, and it's a function module. BAPI is nothing but business application process integration, and it's a function module. We have a separate discussion on BAPI, only on BAPI discussion. That time you will understand. So this is a SAP provided function module we are using to upload our data to SAP database. And once you call the BAPI, then prepare data and send that data to BAPI. And once you prepare and send data to BAPI, finally do the commit your changes. So once you commit your changes, data will be available in bank table. So these are the 4 steps you have to follow. Now, how do I know which BAPI I have to use for my requirement? How can I get this information? Then we need to check in system. If you go to SAP screen, how can we check a BAPI to a transaction is you need to execute SCAT and here you have to select a package, and in this you need to enter package which is we can get it from the T code. So execute parallelly SC93 and here enter the T code for which you wanted to find the BAPI. Click on display and here you have a package. Copy this package. Now close this window and go to back SCIT and enter your package. Click on display. Now you will get all the objects which are created for this bank requirement. These are all the objects. So in here where it is, go to business engineering, business object types, and this is business object types. Uh, Programs, no, function groups. Yeah, go to function groups and then here you have bank functions. Click here BANK and inside you have function modules. Expand this. So these are the list of function models which are available, but these are not BAPI. We don't have BAPI here. Subroutines, screens. No, it is not here. Okay, so here if you see under function groups, you have business object for bank. BAPIs are business objects. So you need to search in business object category. So now expand this and then function modules. Now you can see a BAPI function modules which are created for this bank application. And here you have a list which starts with BAPI. You need to use that one. And BAPI bank create. You can see here create bank. BAPI bank change, which is used to change bank. And BAPI bank get details to get the bank information. So here we need a BAPI bank create to create bank. Double click on it. So now we identify which one is used to create the bank. So copy this. Now second thing is, how do I know uh, fields information, right? So these are flat file data. This is not technical information. But if I go to BAPI bank create, and this is the inputs to the function model. So BAPI is a function model. Function model, how it will work? It will get the input, and then it will prepare the logic, and then finally complete our task. So if I go here, these are all technical names, but what I received, these are descriptions. So how do I know which field I have to pass bank country, which field I have to pass bank key? Then you need to execute FI01 transaction to identify that. When you go to FI01, so I need to enter bank country. But what is the technical name? So click on F1 function key, that is technical help, and go into the technical settings. So click on this technical information. Now you will get a technical information, that is BANKS. BANKS is what? BANKS is a field name. This is the technical name. Now this BANKS you have to verify in your BAPI where exactly it is. Expand this associated type. So what you need bank country, right? So this is bank country. So double click on the associated type. Now here you can see this is the field and which has BANKS document type. So what for field we were searching? We were also searching for this BANKS data element related field. So now we just identified one of the field bank country which has same data element. Now you can use this field to pass bank country information. Like this, each and every tab you need to select and then identify from the file which data where it has to pass. And once you know the information, then execute this BAPI and then pass your information from the file manually, so that a bank will be created. So here bank key, Axis Bank, and bank address. What is the bank name? Bank name is Axis Bank. And then region is TS. And then street is Hyderabad. And once you enter all the information, you need to execute. But if you execute, what will happen? It will never create. And if any errors occurred, that it will show here in the return table. So there is a entry does not exist in this table. So there is error which is coming. Okay. And if there is no error, let's say I will just change this one to test and then execute. So what it says, 50 entry TS does not exist. T005S is what? A region table. So the region what we entered is not exist. So what we are entering, our region TSR, TS is not there. TN, AP, execute directly. So this is land 1 and B land is the one. Okay, so here we have. So TS we don't have. We have, but the country is IT. So if I enter AP, we have AP under India. So we need to enter AP. That is what the issue. So TS is not exist. Axis Bank here AP. Now execute. So now there is no error. You can see in written there is no nothing. And but the thing is, it was not uploaded data to SAP database table because these changes are in buffer. So BAPI bank create, it will create a bank, but it will store data into buffer. So if you wanted to commit your changes and available in table, then you need to use one more function model, BAPI transaction commit. So when you use BAPI bank create, it will show you whether bank can be created or not. But if it is we can create, then if you wanted to commit that changes, then we need to use this function model BAPI transaction commit. So whenever you use this, then only changes will be committed. Otherwise, your changes will not appear in the BNKA table. So what we understand, we need to upload data to SAP database table, we need a file. So that file which is going to share by our functional team, business or conversion team to us. And once we receive the file, to upload information to SAP database table, we have to create a program. So this program has steps. First step, we need to get the file data to our internal table. And second, we need to call relevant BAPI, which can create the bank. And third, we need to prepare and send data to BAPI. And finally, we have to commit the changes. So now to identify the BAPI for a T code, we have to go to SCIT with the package of the T code, and then using that package we can able to identify BAPIs under business objects, because BAPIs are business objects. Under business objects we can find the BAPI. So once we find the BAPI, how do we know which field information for which field we have to pass into the BAPI? Because file contains labels, field labels, but BAPI has technical names. For understanding that, we need to go to FI01 and then click on the field for which we need to pass data to BAPI in, and then get the technical information and search with the same data element in the BAPI level, so that you can able to identify which field has to pass for which in the BAPI. And once you pass all the data, finally use commit work if you wanted to commit the changes. So now what we need to perform this end-to-end operation, we need a file and we need this program. So for file, I have to prepare. We need to prepare because we don't have any functional or any business users right now, right, to send this information. So this file I will prepare, but the file preparation it is not possible in this Apple. For that, I have to go to remote desktop. In remote desktop, we'll have this file and then use SE38 and then upload the data to SAP database table. So let me quit from this normal GUI and then go to remote desktop. So provide username and password. So now execute transaction SE38. So provide your program name, which is a meaningful name, bank, create, click on create. So this is the program to create bank data using BAPI, and the program type is executable. Save, save as local object. So now, what is your first task? Your first task is to get the file from your desktop to program. So first of all, you should have a file. So I have prepared this file. Okay. So this is a notepad where it is having country and bank key. So you need to check whether this bank key exists or not. If it is exist, then it won't create. So go to transaction FI01. So view the bank key, whatever you have chosen from the file, click enter. So now it is taking, which means it is not created. So you can use this data. So now go to the file. So this is my file. So I have received, assume that from the business with the 6 records. So I wanted to create 6 bank information into SAP database table. So first of all, my task is I need to get this data from file to my program. So to get this data, I have to use relevant function modules. So my file is available in desktop, where this file is available in desktop. So sometimes what will happen, business will give this file in my application server A11. So A11 is a path where we can store files. So sometimes middleware team, what they do is they will place the files into this application server paths. So we don't have a middleware team and the file, so we can't see any other path. Yeah. So like this, so some files they will place it into the application server. So when you have a file in application server, you have to use that function statements, open data set, read, close data set to get the file data into your program. So whatever it is, even it is in a desktop or in application server, you are going to use a function modules ultimately, and final task is you need to read the data from flat file to your program. So to read data from flat file to your program, so first you have to create respective structures and call the respective function model. So first let me create a structure to get the data. So I need internal table, right, to hold this information. So first of all, let me create a data object of type internal table to hold that information. So how we are going to create? So first we will create a local defined structure types begin of followed by my bank related information and end of followed by ty underscore bank, and in between whatever the fields we wanted to upload, we need to enter that fields information. So let me go to the table, bank table, which is BNKA. So I need bank country. So bank country is BANKS. So BANKS, and the type followed by you have to use data element. So what is the data element? Data element also set BANKS. So this is bank country, and next I need bank key. Bank key is BANKL, and BANKL data type is what?
So BANKK. And next is what? I need bank name. Bank name. Name of the bank. BANKA. And the data element also same. BANKA. Type BANKA. And what else I am passing? Region and city. So what about region? So region is PROVZ and data element is regio. REZIO, regio. And next one is city. City is what is 01 and the data element is what is 01 underscore GP. Type followed by what is 01 underscore GP. So pretty print. So we have created our structure. With that structure, we are going to create our data object. So data IT bank type table of followed by our structure. So why we are creating this data object? Because to hold the flat file data at runtime. So now we need to use any function module to get the file information. And also let me create a work area also. Work area bank type followed by ty underscore bank bank. So now start of selection I'm using. So before to that, I use one more function module at selection screen on value request for. So I'll create one field here to upload the bank information. So that is parameters p underscore file. I need to give some input to capture the file, right? P underscore file type followed by. So what is the file based on the function module? So this is p underscore file. So what function module? F4 underscore file name. So there is a function module called F4 underscore file name. So I'll tell you what is this use of F4 underscore file name. So first let me uncomment this, Control V and save. So check the importing parameter of file name. So which means exporting. So file name type. So we need the same type, local file. So character 128. So that you have to specify here. Save, check. Because we haven't passed anything here, that's why we are getting error. And file name, what you need to give is p underscore file. So this function module, it will help us to pick the file from the desktop. So this must be under at selection screen on value request. So at selection screen on value request is an event which is used to get the F4 help for the input selection screen. So this event will provide F4 help to this field. So because of that, you are able to pick the file from the desktop. So once this event will provide F4 pop-up, and when you click on it, it will go to this function module, and this function module allow you to get the file name from the desktop at runtime, and that file name will be given here. So during the debug time, you can understand. So if psi hyphen sabasi equal to 0, which means your function module is able to pick the file. So if you are able to pick the file, then what you need to do? So read the file information into your internal table. So for that, we have to use a function module called text convert XLS to SAP. So for this function module, you need to pass file name. So file name is nothing but whatever you received into this p underscore file. And this tab raw data, so it is a mandatory one. So we are not going to use it, even though we have to pass. So take the associated type and then go here. So in the data, so create one internal table of type raw, type followed by the associated type, and use this ITRA because this is nothing we are not going to use, but since it is a mandatory, we have to provide. So we are not doing anything with this, but function module is expecting, so we are giving this ITRA, and p underscore file is our file name. So the data will come into internal table at last, IT bank. If any exceptions, we can use it, uncomment these exceptions, and you can remove this field separator is not required. So pretty print, save, check, activate. So what we have done now is we created program first to get the file from desktop to our internal table. So with this step, we are able to pick the file information into our internal table. Now we have data in our internal table. So what you have to do is, if size bar C, if it is not equal to 0, what you can do is, that means system is unable to read the file. In that case, you can pass a message. What message you can pass? Saying that file read, reading data from file, otherwise reading data from file, uh, read data failure, and type is error. So if reading the file data is success, then it will go to the else part. So in else part, what we are going to do? So we are going to use this bank information, and then we will call BAPI bank create function module to upload data into SAP database. So now you need to use loop at IT bank into work area bank. So you need to pass information from internal table to work area. So in between loop and end loop, we need to call the function module BAPI bank create. So go to pattern. So call your function module BAPI bank create and click on continue. So now the BAPI bank create was called into your program. So if you see whatever it is not mentioned in comments which are mandatory, you have to provide. Whatever mentioned in the comment which is not mandatory, if you want you can use, otherwise you can leave it. So bank country is mandatory, so you need to provide bank country. So bank country, so LB bank country. So I need to create one field bank country. So BCTRY I need to create, and bank address. So you have to provide a bank address. So bank address needs to be provided. So I'll create one more data object LV address, and bank address, bank country, and what else we have to provide? Yeah, this update you have to use as X because you are going to update to the database. And what else? So we need this return parameters because we wanted to know whether it is success or failure. So for that, you have to create a return structure. So IT return and bank country. So bank country, you can use the same above data object. And for bank key, so for bank key, you have to use a another data object. So these are not created. We need to create. So I'm just passing right now what data is required. So here bank key also we have to provide uncomment. So this one is LV key, and remaining things are not required. I'm just removing. So these are not required. So pretty print, save. So now you need to create this data objects. So how we can create? So you need to check a relevant data type inside the BAPI and then use the same data type to the one which you are going to use. So double click on BAPI bank create and check what is the bank country uh, type. So this is uh, BAPI something, BAPI bank country, or you can use the component also fine, which means data element. So the type should be same. That is what the intention. So here I'll separately give the BAPI structures. So LV bank country type followed by associated type BANKS LV BCTRY and LV key. So for LV key, double click. So bank key. So go to this BANKK is the data element. So you have to use BANKK data element and LV key type BANKK. So this is for bank key. And what else? Address. So address, double click bank address. So bank address is like this one, BAPI structure. So you need to copy this structure, go back, and you have to create it. LV underscore address, LV underscore address, type followed by your structure. So is there anything we are left in the BAPI structures? So country we have created, key we have created, address we have created, and return. So we need to create the return. So observe return associated type. So where is this return? So return here we have, and BAPI ret 2. So BAPI ret 2 is the associated structure. So go to here, IT return type BAPI ret 2. So pretty print, save, and come back RETURN. So IT return. So let me double check once. BAPI tables changing. Where is this return? Return associated type is BAPI rated 2, but it is using like keyword here. Uh, BAPI rated 2. Let me use occurs 0 because this is a internal table. Save, check, activate. There are no errors. So right now we are good with the getting the data and calling the BAPI and mapping the structure, but we need to pass values to structure bank country. So where the data is in IT bank. So this information we are receiving into work area. So once you have the data in work area, you need to move this work area information to your BAPI structures. So work area bank followed by, so what is the field of bank country? BANKS. So pass this BANKS to your bank country. And next, So bank key information. So copy this. So you need to pass bank key information. So what is the bank key field name? So bank key field name is BANKL. Go back. So BANKL is for bank key. So this is key information. And then address data. So region, country, bank name information. We have to pass into the address. So we have this information in work area bank. So copy this. So this is LV address hyphen. So what is the field of LV address bank underscore name. This is the bank name. So hyphen bank name equal to. So here in your local structure, what is the field name for bank name? So this is BANKA. So you have to pass BANKA. And in address, what else we have to pass? Bank name and region. So where is this address? Bank address. And this is the region and city. So region and city are same names. So region, but here in your structure, what is the value of region? Field name is PROVZ. So you have to use PROVZ. And region and what else? City. We have to provide city information. So city. And in your local declarations, what is the value of city? It is ORT01. So use ORT01. So now the data also you mapped from work area to your internal table. So I am giving some adjust here. So it will be looks very meaningful way. And this is so pretty print, save, check, activate. So now if you create, what will happen? Data will be here and it will be mapped to BAPI structure and BAPI will receive that information, but data will not be updated into database because we are not going to commit. So you need to commit that. So if IT return, so this is the internal table. If it is having values, then that means there is some error occurred. If IT return is initial, and if so is initial means there is no value means it is success, then you can use commit work. So either you can use commit work or you can use a function module called BAPI transaction commit. So both will work. BAPI transaction commit. So let me search. So BAPI transaction commit. Either of the two things you can use. So I'm commenting this now. Commit work. So I'm using BAPI transaction commit. So pretty print. So pretty print, save, check, activate. So now let test the program. So place a breakpoint at your function module. So here, one thing we have used the at selection screen event, right? So after that, you have to use the start of selection. So if you are not using start of selection, then what will happen? System will not understand. Still, it is thinking your logic is to provide F4 helper. So F4 file name. So this will get the file information. If size of bar C 0, I'm writing here start of selection. So pretty print, save, check incorrect nesting where start of selection is not here. If must be and if. Okay, so let me remove here. So I'll write here start of selection, pretty print, save, check, activate. So now place breakpoint at your function module F4 underscore file name and execute. So this is the input we created to get the file from the desktop. So this is the field p underscore file and you can see F4. The pop-up is coming, right? So this pop-up is coming because of the event. At selection screen on value request for the field name. So this event which provides F4 help to the field. So now when you click on this, it will go to the function module F4 underscore file name. So for this function module, what we are passing is our program name and screen number of the current program. So size CPROG nothing but our program name. It's a system variable which capture at runtime a current program name. And side-diner is nothing but it is also a system variable. At that moment, what is the screen for the program? That screen number it will capture. So these two are required for to get the file from the desktop. And the field name is blank. So why it is blank means, so now this function module allow us to pick the file. So whenever you pick the file, this blank is get filled with that file information. That's where this field is blank here. And then F6. So you can click here F6. So when you click, you can see there is a pop-up. This pop-up is coming because of this F4 underscore file name. Now choose your file from the pop-up and continue, open. So now you can see whatever the file you have chosen, the file path was taken by the input field p underscore file. And then click on F6. Why it is going outside? 1 second. So we have not written properly called start of selection. So this is not here. So if size of bar c equal to 0, then it will get the data. Okay, so if size of bar c not equal to 0, message read data failure happen. Else we will stop here and if, and then here we will use start of selection. Pretty print, but we need to remove this end of statement. So pretty print, save, check, incorrect nesting where. Okay, here it is if size of bar c equal to 0. So we will end here. And if remove this, so pretty print, save, check, activate. So event issue. So we have used a event, right, for the getting the file. So this event will be ended with another event. So the problem is we have used in between the if statement. That is what it is causing issue. Okay, now execute and see F4 and click on F6 and choose the file. Now size of RC is success because system is able to read the file path. And then F6. Now text convert XLS to SAP. What this function module will do is it will take the file path information as an input, and from that file it will read the data into your internal table. So F6, click on hello. Now you can see your internal table which is filled with the information whatever we have in the file. So we have bank and bank key and bank country. Uh, this is bank name and this is bank region and this is bank city. And then F6. Now start of selection. So I think it is not required. Start of selection. Let me remove it. Let me remove this start of selection. Activate. Now place breakpoint here. I'll remove the above breakpoint because we already see how the data is coming. Bank data. So now you have data in internal table IT bank. So this is our information. So one by one record, we are moving to our work area. So first record, which we have into our work area. So from the work area, we are getting the information divided like into variables because this information we have to provide to BAPI. So bank, country, key, and region, city, bank name information. So F6, and then the information was given to the BAPI bank create. Now click on F6. What happened? Type conflict during the function called. So where is that conflict happen? So BAPI bank create. Okay. So what is the type conflict? IT return, which is not having the right type. So we have to check our function module because it says IT return type is not correct. IT return type BAPI ret to occurs 0. So we have used internal table. So what we have here, return parameter. So if you are not getting what is exactly, so you can go to the where use list and see. This is somewhere definitely they have used, right? So you can check how they have used. So here IT return was there. So IT return like BAPI ret. So we will use the same one. So now go to our program, go to our declaration. So this is BAPI IT return like BAPI ret. Pretty print, save, check, activate. Now again place the breakpoint here, execute and get the file. So now we have the file data here. So F6, so data which is going here and then function module getting called and return parameter we can see return there is no values which means success, and then going to the BAPI transaction commit. Before doing the commit, let's check what is the bank country and bank key. So this is the bank key information. So before committing, just check in the table whether this data available or not. So this is bank key information. So number of entries are 0. So which means it is not updated. So let me commit it. So F6, so commit is completed and then check again in the table. So now you can see a record was created and how many times this loop will trigger based on the record count. So there are 5 records. Each time it will go inside of the loop and it will prepare the structure and then it will call the BAPI and then it will submit the call transaction. If any error occurred, then it will come to the return. So this is now we are in 4th time. So site ABIX is a system variable which will give the iteration of the internal table record. So now it is going fourth time. Fourth record it was taken. And now fifth record. So there are no records, F8. So if you want, you can pass a message also saying that update successful. And if you go here and refresh, come back. So remove this and give the date as today because all these records are updated today. So 7th, 11, F1, F2, 7/11/2024. Number of records are 5. So you can execute and see. So all these records are created today. So what we need to observe in this program is we have a file. First thing is we need to get the file information through function modules. Once we have the data inside our function module and get the data into internal table, once we have the data, map BAPI structures and call the BAPI so that it will update to the SAP database. So we are going to give this report to the end user is no, we will not give the report. So what we will do is we will create a T code for that report. So we'll go to SC93 and then G bank upload. One transaction code we will create for that program. So bank data upload. And here you need to select program and selection screen as your transaction type. Continue and provide your program name here. Automatically screen will be taken here. No need to give the screen. And save local object. Now this transaction code will be given to the end users. So then business users, what they will do, they will enter this T code and then they'll get the files into here and then they'll simply click on execute. Once they click on execute, the data will be processed into SAP database. If any errors, then we will capture that errors and we will display it in the screen itself. That logic we can build inside the program. So this way we will use BAPIs to upload data into SAP database. So any doubts so far today?
If no questions, we can wind up for the day. Thank you.